Hey guys, Creature Singh here, back from C&H Smology again for another informative video. This one deals solely with guns. This is a Mosin Nagant exclusive review video here. The stuff I'm talking about is basically your triggers and trigger fine tuning and stuff like that. If you got a bad gritty trigger and stuff like that, it's like giving you problems because most of the Mosin Nagants out, the M44s, M91s, and those variants out there do have bad triggers out there if you have like a refurb gun, but sometimes you might get one that has a real good trigger, and other times the majority of them aren't too good, to say the least, out there for that. So I'm giving a review video of how basically your trigger should look after you get it like tuned up and stuff like that on the actual sear part itself right here for that. So what you need to first start doing this, you need some wet dry sandpaper. I got over here shown. You need a 400 grit. You need the 800 grit. You need 1500 grit as well too. And I also got another one over here. It's a 1000. It's a 1000 grit silicone carbide sandpaper. So basically, get about 4 different types right there. And I'd say overall, the job takes probably about an hour of just like hand polishing the machine, or just hand polishing it rather than putting it on a machine and trying to buff it yourself real quick, because I do not recommend doing this on a machine, because if you take too much material off or you change some kind of an angle on the back of the sear, it may cause the firearm to be unsafe to shoot, to say the least. So basically what I'll show you here is how to polish it exactly. On your sear right here, you see it right on the right portion right here. You actually have 3 portions that are the primary areas you want to polish up. First one is the actual tang area right here. This whole area, you want this thing to be glass smooth right here. This whole area, you want to start with the 400 to go up the 800 and go to the 1000 and go to the 1500 right there for that. Start by using the lower the coarse grit stuff the $400, and buff it for about 5 or 10 minutes out, then move on to the upper grit and keep on progressing from there. So what you want to do is you want to have this whole entire area glass smooth, as you see right here. I spent probably about an hour on this one sear right here out of one of my Finn M3 and 9 Mosins right here. And after you get that done, pretty slicked up, almost like a mirror right here, you basically want to proceed on to the next portion, which is the upper portion right here, where it actually engages on the actual back of the rear caulking piece. On that piece, let me see if I can get a better picture for you guys. You can zoom in here a little bit better for you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. You want this whole face on here to be nice and smooth as well too. Nice, keep it flat. Don't try to put an angle or anything else on you, but you want it nice and smooth along the whole front side. So just go up and down like that on here for that. Same as right here, up and down, straight up and back and forth. You don't want to do a side-by-side cross piece, but you just want to go the same way as what the trigger puts pressure on this piece right here. Just go up and down in the front of the actual sear engagement, where the actual engages from the rear caulking piece. Have nice and polished up there as well too. Plus the other portions you want to polish up, and well, I didn't actually do it on this one yet because it wasn't really contacting the inner side of the receiver, but it's another area you do want to polish up as well too. It's the actual side piece of your engagement where in contacts, because most of the time this thing rubs on the inside of the receiver where it goes up through the hole and above the receiver. So you want to polish this piece up, I'd say about a 1/4 of an inch down. So you want to polish up the 1/4 inch piece right along here as well too, and do the other side as well. Let me flip that around. There we go. Polish up the other side right along here, 1/4 inch down to right about there. So this portion should be completely polished as well too. And the last piece that actually engages on the back of your rear caulking piece, the slight angular piece on the back here. I'm just going to get a better picture here for you guys. Here we go. Okay. So you can zoom in here now, guys. The back piece, right on the back, you have this slight angular piece right back here. You want this to basically be almost butter, almost like glass. You want this to look like almost like chrome right back here. This whole thing should be completely polished, because that's where it actually rides on the back of the rear caulking piece. So what happens is your caulking piece sits right here flush against this, and once you pull the trigger back, it moves up goes on top of that right there for that. So you want that piece to be extra smooth right there. You want that basically to be the cream of the crop right there for that, to say the least. Then because that portion engages directly in the back of your, as I said before, your caulking piece. You want that piece to be completely polished, perfect on it almost. And the other thing I should mention, on your actual trigger here as well too, you want the inner, let me see if I can get a better picture for you guys here where it actually shows it here for that. On the inner side, you want this piece where it actually contacts this piece right here to be polished as well too, up inside. If you can put like a real small buffing wheel or something down inside there, you want that polished inside there as well. I mean, put on a better angle maybe here. You want to get that inside right along this whole inner piece right down inside here. Let me just make a better picture. I'm left hand, so you're getting it like this. So you want this entire piece polished down inside to remove any more grit as well too, because that piece definitely contacts the back of the sear. But you can actually see some of the markings I got down inside. It's like rubbing on the inside of that actual portion right there too. So you want to polish up and buff up this entire piece up here where it actually seats. This piece seats right here, goes up inside here and presses on that piece right there for that. So once you get those pieces all buffed up and polished up, it'll greatly improve your trigger, to say the least, out there for that, for your Mosin Nagant, whether you have an M9 130, M44, the Chinese, Polish, whatever you got out there for that. Most Finnish rifles already have the trigger basically polished, but you can definitely you know, polish up a bit more than what you normally do in there for that. And that's my personal way of like basically tuning your trigger as well too. The other thing is, if your sear spring back here is also bent just a teeny bit, basically this one right here, it's almost completely flat, as you see right here. Most of the Russian ones and some of the other Polish and Chinese and anything else ones, it might be bent up on like a slight banana bend. Just I call it a slight banana bend. That's basically what it looks like. You want this thing to be completely flat, or you want the rear, I call it like the rear tang area right back here, slightly bent down. So whenever you're engaging your trigger on your firearm, you don't have a lot of travel to go with on there for that. So that's basically my review of how to tune your Mosin Nagant trigger in your gun right there for that. If anybody has any comments, questions, whatnot, just feel free to leave me a comment at the bottom of the page, and I'll try to answer any questions you guys have about doing something similar to that. As I said before, the equipment you need here is about 4 different types of sandpaper. You need 400 grit, you need 800 grit, you need 1500 grit, and I also recommend getting about 1,000 grit paper as well too. I got right here. This is wet dry silicon carbide. It basically takes a place between 800 and 1500, so it'll get most of the medium to fine scratches out of the actual metal surface. So I'll see you guys, and have a nice day.